Welcome to the next edition of Throwing Shade. These glasses were my wife's idea. Thought it would be, a brand. Anyway, but what I want to talk about today, again, the shade we're talking about, it's sometimes when I listen to some of my favorite comedians and they throw up their hands in exasperation and say, white people. That's the shade where we're going to be. Here's the reason, though. There are two in particular. Monica Palmer, William Harper, are in charge of certifying the elections in Michigan. Now, you can't make this stuff up. Monica Parker actually is on record saying that she would certify votes for every community other than Detroit, even though Livonia, which is another community in Michigan, but it's predominantly white, had the same voting irregularities as the city of Detroit had. In other words, in layman's terms, she just wanted to disenfranchise all the black voters in Detroit and preserve the votes for white folks from Livonia. The thing that is so frustrating about this is that it's not new. I spoke on our last episode about what had happened in Georgia with the Secretary of State there, Brian Kemp, who was in charge of purging 1.4 million people off the voting rolls in Georgia, who the vast majority of whom were black. And now we see the same thing playing out in Michigan. As a matter of fact, the strategy for the Trump administration to try to win this election has been to disenfranchise just cities with predominantly black populations. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Detroit, Michigan, etc. It's hard sometimes to be able to be in the country and watch these things evolve without feeling a certain kind of way. So, as this goes forward, what I think would help us, what would behoove us, is if we all become more attuned to the struggles, the difficulties, the attacks on our legitimacy, on our rights as Americans, as we travel through and try to navigate this, what is obviously an acerbic, a very acidic kind of environment during this election. So let's pay attention, and then going forward, sometimes when we see people angry, or we see people protesting, or we see people advocating for rights, let's kind of turn back to this page as a reference point so we can better understand where that anger may be coming from. I wish that were my opinion, but it's fact. That's Throwing Shade for today. I'll see you next week.